Good evening, everyone. I think it's 5 o'clock. It's our time for the beautiful panel discussion to start. Myself, I'm architect G. Raja. I'm a professor with Periyar Maniamma University, and I am your coordinator for this panel discussion. Uh, our moderator for this day is Dr. Nega Bansal. Dr. Nega Bansal is a Bachelor of Architecture, Masters in City Planning from IIT Kharagpur, and PhD from IIT Rourkela. And she is a very passionate academician and professional with over 15 years of experience, has won the Best Faculty Award in 2016 for North Zone in the same year. She is passionate about architecture, planning, and disaster management. Presently, Dr. Nega Bansal is working as a professor and search coordinator with SRM School of Architecture and Interior Design, SRM ISD, Kattankulathur, Chennai. It is a great honor for us to, welcome Professor S. Satyavishnu Karthik, the Dean of Dhanalakshmi Srinivasan Institute of Technology, Samayapuram, Tiruchirappalli, and thank him for hosting this beautiful panel discussion for the welfare of the academicians, architects, the students of architecture, and aspiring architectural students. Thank you so much. It is time now for Dr. Nega Bansal to moderate this beautiful panel discussion and get it along. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Architect Raja, and thank you for such a warm welcome. I welcome all on behalf of this panel discussion and as well as on behalf of the host. This panel discussion is a discussion which is focusing on architecture and NATA and its related aspects. The panel discussion aims to acknowledge the prospects of our noble profession, architecture, as well as we are here to give a better understanding of the process of entering into this profession through NATA, which is lately into a little bit of crisis in terms of being new, with its new model being uploaded by Council of Architecture. So I welcome all again to this panel discussion. We have three eminent panelists, Dr. P. Satish Kumar. I would like to introduce Dr. P. Satish Kumar as the first panelist. He is B. Architecture, Masters in Architecture and PhD in Architecture. He is also qualified as PDF in Architecture, Postdoctoral Research Fellow from Malaysia. Presently, he is Dean School of Architecture and Interior Design, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai. He is elected Council Member, Council of Architecture, New Delhi. He has been an award recipient to many awards, which include Best Architect Award from Dr. Malayswamy Annadurai, Director, ISRO, organized by Educational Research Organization 2016. Best Teacher Award from Dr. Vishwanathan, Chancellor, VIT, organized by Education Today, Chennai 2014. Honorary Doctorate Award in the area of education and research from IVUPE Bangalore 2014, and an Outstanding Member Award from the Indian Institute of Architects Tamil Nadu chapter in 2011. He has also been elected chairman of the Indian Institute of Indian Interior Designers IIID Chennai chapter between 2014 and 2016. And he has also served as Joint Honorary Secretary, the Indian Institute of Architects Tamil Nadu chapter between the year 2010 and 2012. I welcome you, Dr. Satish, for being a part of this session, and I request you to kindly give your ideas and your discussion into this panel.
Thank you very much, Dr. Neha Bansal. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, sir. Yes. Quite.
Thank you. First of all, I thank Dhanalakshmi Srinivasan Institute of Technology for hosting this panel discussion. A special thanks to Professor Raja and Dr. Neha Bansal to coordinate and moderate. And welcome to the co-panelist, Dr. Professor Solomon Vedamuthu, our mentor, and my dear friend, Professor Kadiravan, Dean of Karpagam University, Coimbatore. This is the need of the hour. Thank you very much for making this possible. We are in a very bad times, pandemic, COVID-19. So 19 is gone, 20 is gone, and 21 now, the extended period. I wish everybody to stay home, stay safe, I deeply regret for the mishappenings in the loss of life and health of many. Sorry to say that. And COVID-19 has changed the pattern of life, the reality and the purpose. With a given scenario, the title schedule is BARC and NATA. That is the title proposed by the host. And we are there to talk on that particular area. Just briefing on the 2-3 points on BARC and NATA. I'm very sure everybody cannot do BARC. I'm very sure about it. And it needs aptitude and creativity. It is not a calculation. It is a creativity or a calculated creativity. It's almost like a singing, dancing, music, swimming, which anybody or everybody cannot do. It needs an art. So this is not being offered to everybody. It is for the specific people who can learn into this particular course. And NATA, is that required? Definitely yes, because it's a good filter for the betterment of everybody. So which is being conducted by the competent authority, the Council of Architecture, New Delhi, in a centralized way. I would like to give the statistics of now how the aspirants have taken up this NATA. In the year 2019, we had 32,856 candidates qualified. Just I repeat, it is in the year 2019, we have got 32,856. In the year 2020, that is last year, it drastically got reduced for 10,000 approximately, and the number is 22,843. And now in the year 2021, approximately 15,000 something got appeared, and 15,000 something got applied, and 14,130 wrote the examination, and 11,000 something is got qualified. Approximately the calculation says that we may have 6,000 students to join this course out of this 11,000 who has been qualified. So this is the general calculations out of 463 institutions in the country, which approximately says that about 10, 12, 13 students from each institutions. And this is the pathetic state of today. The first NATA for this year 2021 was conducted in 10/4/2021, and the second NATA 2021 is to be conducted on 12/6/2021. The +2 examinations in Tamil Nadu is not yet conducted, and likewise also in few other states of the country. Of course, JEE is conducted. So this is the prevailing conditions. So, and again, I would like to repeat, NATA is an aptitude examination or an aptitude test. It is not an entrance examination or entrance test or a competitive examination or a competitive test. It is an aptitude test. So this interest on this NATA or this interest on the course, let me be very honest, the interest on this course is gradually reducing, or the takers of this course is reducing for the past 5 years, which you can see in those statistics which I mentioned. Along with the COVID-19 gave us to rethink in the examination pattern, keeping this NEP 2020 and the National Testing Agency also into the mind. So what is to be done? That we should really create, we should give an opportunity for many people looking into the real conditions. So test on demand, that is whenever any candidate is interested, we should give them some time to apply or appear. It could also be given a multiple times, and not just a pass mark. Okay, this much is a pass mark, not required. Probably we can have it as a JEE type, like we can have a qualifying percentile score like that. That also could be done, because let me be very thankful to the Council of Architecture who has minimized the eligibility criteria even for this year. Like last year, pass has made the eligibility. The same way, even all these will also be considered, which will make the students to take up this NATA. I don't like to suggest anybody, but it's a humble put forward to anybody, especially council. The centralized examination which is being conducted, that is the so-called NATA, could be authorized to decentralize to each state, of course controlled by the COA, and authorized or represented by each and every state, supported by the local COA nominee, to ensure the quality, discipline, and to promote it more better and for better outcome. So all these things could be done. See, moreover, to administrate the whole country with the 53 members, I don't know, it is definitely possible. If it could be more driven by the nominated members to take it in a very regional level or on a state level, which goes more better to monitor each and every institutions, each and every numbers, to create more of awareness, more of promotions, more of interest among the people, and connect along with the IEA local body or national regional body, whatever you call, and work together. Unless until we work together, all these things may not be possible. And along with that, the professional status in the industry, which brings pride, money, and status, which is definitely very important, according to my understanding. And we should also create a very high demand on the course and the profession. It is in the hands of the profession only, because any parent who comes forward for the admission for their children, for the ward, will definitely estimate or plan after 4-5 years of time. Probably even he may do his masters, let's say, what is next? So whether he's going to be employed or practice or do anything. So that is not very clear for anybody. Let me be very honest. That employment is not defined. So it is the responsibility of the professionals like you and me or anybody, especially the teachers, the council, the IEA, or all of us in the profession related to this directly, to take up this responsibility and create a demand on this particular course. And for which, very simple is, let's work towards this together, stop allegations, and let's reach public, and let's make a lot of professional reach. That is very, very important. Professional reach in the sense is not just to conduct some program and awareness program like this. Give them, speak to the government, speak to the authorities, create employment opportunities for all these people by giving them, like the municipality, corporation, panchayat, CMDA in Chennai, or any other development authorities of that particular state or a city. Give them employment opportunities, speak to those government. It is the responsibility of the local COA nominee, as well as any other members of the IEA, or even a professional like you and me, or even the teachers, to speak to those authorities and give them the employment, have an MOU with the government or the municipality, corporations, give them a training, those organizations, have a NGO in association with you, and even exchange program with the international universities and the international forums. Give them more opportunities, polish the students more better, change the dimensions, look into that particular quality of the students. At the time of +2 level, the kind of understanding or the strength what he has, after 5 years of time, his understanding and strength is totally different and very competent enough. So we are looking for a BArch professional and not for anybody who has a BArch degree certificate. There's a lot of different what we are looking at it. So that is the reason why we have this aptitude test. So again, I come back, nobody can become an architect unless until he has a creativity. Just to check that only, we have this aptitude test, which is the so-called NATA. And this NATA has to be conducted or to be promoted or to be done by people like us only, and not by non-professionals like others, which is happening today. And the institution has to promote it, the council has to promote it, the IE has to promote it, teachers has to promote it, the professional like you and me and everybody here should promote it. We should have the dual responsibility of how to take it forward. Our elders has given us something more better, and we are comfortable to take things forward, and we have to definitely take it more better than us to the next generations. It is all around in our hand. So how to work it out? This as simple as that. Let us travel elegantly, and let us give all of these people to have very good employment opportunity. Let me tell you another statistics. Altogether of 130 crores of population of country, we have only 1 lakh architects registered the council, out of which only 25,000 architects are in practice, and out of which 12,000 are in the academics. Just see the numbers. And of course, the people who are registered in the Indian Institute of Architects is only approximately 12,000 to 15,000 in number. Some people also got lapsed out. So where even an auto rickshaw driver has an association who stands very strong, even a bus driver has a good association, stays strong for anything, or even anybody for that sake has an association. And even we too have an association. It should stay strong, work together and focused. The IEA, COA, teachers, professionals, all should have a forum like this and create more of awareness program, more of elegant movement, more of opportunity-based educational program, especially a professional course. We should be more professional in handling certain things by conducting the academic conditions and also promoting that into the business. Maybe it's the practice of architecture or even in terms of real estate or whatever allied along with that. Also, we should also work along with the other supporting allied fields like engineers, civil engineers, electrical, mechanical, BDS, design people, or interior decorators, however you call. And even we should have this kind of people who really speak into the Rajya Sabha, go to the government and sit there as an MP and amend the act. And we should go ahead to sit there and do something possible. When our great grandfather Pilu Modi has done it in the year 1972, Articles Act 1970, we stay strong even now. But after almost 48, 49 years over, we have never amended the bill, for which we need some power. We need to take it forward, for which all of us have to work together, have a same kind of vision, very better vision, professional vision, and go furthermore beyond and reach the destiny as what we want. And I'm telling you, we are the apex body, we are the apex professionals, the master business, master architect, master of anything, the creator, the so-called. So the purpose of having this particular session is to just to orient certain things, what we should first understand, not only as an architect, also as a professional, as a teacher, or as anybody we call, the BR, yes, as this kind of requirements, the NATA, yes, which is definitely important, but how we should promote this more better, how to reach the target or opportunity, how to give it to the next generation properly. I'm really afraid, probably with the 11,000 past students of this year, 2021 NATA, probably the statistics, general statistics say 6,000 to 7,000 may join. This is the general calculations or this number of institutions. Many institutions is made to die. I'll tell you, I repeat this word, made to die. So we should really look into these matters, and we all have requested to the council president and also the registrar, and they also widely accepted to go ahead with one more NATA to give more opportunity for the young students to take it forward. Hope a lot of good things happen. Thank you very much for the opportunity given.
Thank you, Dr. Satish, for a wonderful insight into the profession of architecture, which is considered to be a noble profession. And to our dismay, it is only profession in the stream of engineering and technology, which is a professional course. Otherwise, all are engineering into the field of engineering. And it's really nice to know the techno-legal aspects of architecture as a profession, as well as the architecture domain, where how we can enter and what we can do with respect to this. Thank you very much for your valuable inputs. I would now welcome Professor P. Kathivaran. Sorry for the name.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. He is B.Arch. Sorry, 1 minute. He is B.Arch from Kamaraju University, Madurai. I'm really sorry for the names because of difficult names. In year 2002, he has done his master's in MTech CEM from Manipal University, Manipal, in the year 2004. He is pursuing PhD since 2015 from NIT Calicut. Presently, he is associated with Karpagam Academy of Higher Education as Dean, Faculty of Architecture, Design and Planning, Coimbatore. He is an architect and a building management postgraduate with proven success of 17+ years in architectural design management and 9+ years in teaching as an academician. He is also a project manager for the Collaborative Research Project, BINUCOM, along with 3 international universities and 3 national universities, which is funded by IRAMES, which is absolutely very valuable, sir. As a partner of SK Associates doing projects in various scales for private and government, he is also associated with Venkatraman Associates as a head Tamil Nadu region and is actively involved in designing management, project management and documents scrutinization of various projects. He was associated with RVS School of Architecture, Coimbatore as professor. He was also associated with SRM School of Architecture, Ramapuram campus as senior professor, and is active governing member of SVS School of Architecture, Coimbatore. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Nega. I hope you are able to spell it properly, my name, after some time.
I'm really sorry.
Okay, no problem. I'm thankful to Dhanalakshmi Srinivasan Institute of Technology College to organize this type of event on this evening, and I am thankful to Dr. Satish, who speak really well about profession. Sometimes back, we all heard about what needs to be done, how to promote all these things. He was explained very neatly, and I'm really happy and participated along with Professor Solomon sir. And I am thankful to Raja also. Okay, for my topic is the academics. Academics. Academics in the current situation, architecture academics is how it is. Initially, during 2010 to 2016, it was a very nice time for the academician and even students also. It was very nice time. The students are all, more number of students are all joined in architecture colleges in Tamil Nadu or all over India. After 2019, there was some break, as Satish shared the statistics, so many statistics he said about 30,000 to 25,000. Now it became a 15,000. How it is? How it is? It is moreover related to the profession. First of all, academics is not alone separately. It is moreover related to profession. Profession in the sense, sometimes back. A year back, I was sat along with my colleague who was a dean in pharmacy. I was discussing with him. So many students are joining in pharmacy courses. I asked him, what is the opportunity in pharmacy? I asked, because almost around in Coimbatore itself, 25 colleges are there for pharmacy in Coimbatore. For that, each per year admission, almost around 200 people they are taking in my college itself. And they are collecting the donation 1.5 lakhs, and even fees also very high in the pharmacy. And where is the opportunity for them? I asked him. Next day, next minute itself, he was telling me, sir, opportunity is more for us. If anybody wants to open a medical shop, they have to get certification. That means our pharmaceutical certification. With the pharmaceutical certification only, they are able to open the medical shop. This is in the pharmacy. You know very well, for all professional courses in India, professional courses is one is a lawyer, another one is a architect, medicine, pharmaceutical, maybe auditor. They have their own council. You see the council of medical council of India, how the powerful the medical council of India. Then next you see the bar council of India. Everyone behind the bar council of India, even so many judges are coming from the bar council of India. And next you see the auditor council, how it's running. Coming to council of architecture council, how it is running. I'm not blaming council of architecture, but we are not in the right position right now, I feel. Because if you see medical council of India, whatever they want, they get it from the ministry in government of India, and they are doing their work. But coming to council of architecture, you see most number of building is happening all over the India. All over India, most of the buildings are happening. You know, one of the best industry is the construction industry, building industries only all over India. As per the statistics from the Satish sir, only 12,000 or 10,000 people only they are practicing in our field right now. All over India, this is. But how the buildings are going now? You see, that if we have somebody to interrupt with the government and change the policy, then only we are able to survive in the society hereafter. I'm telling you. Otherwise, what happened? It will be degrade. The profession will be degrade. Automatically, that academic also will get degrade. The profession and academics are always related only. It's not separate one. So some team to be formed in the Council of Architecture to get the licensing from the Government of India, and they have to approach Government of India if they want to open a real estate company, if they want to open a builder's company, if they want to open some construction company, they have to they have certified person to be placed in that company. Then only they have to allow to open the real estate company or whatever it is. That type of licensing needs to be, that type of licensing and the lobby needs to be created in our Council of Architecture so that our profession will go ahead in future. And secondly, Satish sir said about the promotion activities. Promotion is not supposed to, if we tell people won't accept one. If we tell some parents, you join architecture, how they will join? If a policy from the government side, government will create some policy that will be published in the gazettation. So if that is published, then automatically people will go ahead to join the architecture courses or go ahead with allied courses in architecture. Even I'm telling you that the civil department also is not going good in India, not only architecture. So that type of licensing and lobby works needs to be done from council and approach government and do whatever we want, all these things. Because we have a strong 1972 Act right now with us. Nobody's having that type of act, I'm telling you. That strong act we have, but afterwards we are not done any work. Even 1983, we have created that minimum standard of education. But after 1983, just to 2020 only, they amended the act, amended the minimum standards of education. So we, as an architect, as an academician, as an council of member, whoever it is, maybe a Satish or all, even president or registrar, whoever it is, they have to approach the government how to get opportunity for the architect profession, so that the people will be known very well about architecture. If you go village side and all, they don't know about architecture. But there is an opportunity in villages. Even in villages in Tamil Nadu, ordinary politician is signing the building approval plan. How it is possible? Whether it's possible in the medical shop, whether it's possible in the doctor side. If any layman go and practice as a doctor, it's possible. It's not possible at all. So in that way, we have to go in deep and meet politicians in our country, and we have to lobbying those people, and we have to change our profession. We have to promote our profession. Not only promote the academics, promote the students to come and join. Promote our profession. Automatically, the academics will be get promoted. That's what my opinion. And thanks the opportunity for this great occasion. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Kathirwan.
Yeah.
Thank you for valuable inputs and giving us an insight that architecture profession is absolutely oriented towards the real-time problems, and that is how academics and profession are very closely knit. Unlike any other field of engineering or any other field, architectural profession is absolutely connected with the academics. Thank you, sir, for your valuable inputs. I now welcome Professor Solomon D. Vedamuthu, sir. He is architect, artist, and professional design and educator. He is founder and course director of unique and highly rated preparatory training programs specially designed to coach creatively inclined aspirants to take on the National Aptitude Test in Architecture, NATA, and other competitive entrance exams conducted by premier institutions like NID, CEPT, NIFT, Shrishti, and DJ Academy. He also trains UG and PG aspirants in interior design, visual communications, and graphic design to enter into other reputed institutions in India and abroad. Solomon sir conducts independent classes in visual arts, freehand drawing, sketching, and painting in all media, caricaturing, comic art, and creative visual graphics for everyone in any group. He has been associated with many memberships and affiliations, primarily elected as member of Council of Architecture 2012 to 2016 under Ministry of HRD, principal architect at SVA Architects and Design, founder director, DVS Center of Design and Delineation, director, McGann's Ooty School of Design, associate member of Indian Institute of Architects, former member of the Academic Council of Anna University between the year 1998 to 2001, former joint secretary of the Indian Institute of Architects, Tamil Nadu Chapter, Chennai, former vice president, SAP Alumni Association, Anna University 2007, former executive committee member, Alumni Club, Anna University, former president, Rotary Club Madras, Shakti, member of Rotary Club. He has more than 36 years of professional practice and as an architect and interior designer in city of Chennai and all over India, involved in professional design education in all disciplines for more than 32 years. I welcome you, sir, and request you to give your opinion on the subject.
Thank you, Professor Neha. Firstly, I must congratulate Dr. Satish Kumar and Professor Raja for taking such initiatives. See, today they are the people who make things happen. See, there are people who make things happen. There are people who watch things happen. And there's a whole vast majority who don't know what the hell is happening. Now, this majority is 85% of the populace on the planet. 85% of the people don't know what is happening. If you stop a guy on the road and ask him where he's going, what is happening, he won't know. I mean, it's not right that he should know. That's what he thinks. Out of the 25% or 15%, 10% at least watch things happen. They keep on watching. Someday maybe they'll make things happen. But it's the 5% who have been existing from time immemorial who make things happen. These 5% are called architects, not people who have done architecture. They're called architects. Now, I would classify today among the young people, energetic and entrepreneurial people, Dr. Satish and Raja. These two people are doing extremely well. They don't sit down and watch things happen. They want to make things happen. So first I have to congratulate these two people, and of course, Vishnu Karthik of Dhanalakshmi College, who's hosting this program. Now, like it's given in my resume, I've been into this for more than 35 years now. I started this as a hobby, picking up people who have the aptitude, who I thought had aptitude. And I was preparing them, not training them or coaching them as it's normally called. See, I did not do any NATA coaching there. NATA came much later. I've been involved in this for quite a long time. Now that what I started off as a hobby has become a mainstream activity for me. Frankly speaking, I do not know how many students I've trained till now. The number is huge. And they are all over the world. Now, I am telling you this because I just want to know how long I've been soaking in this subject. But then, as Satish rightly put it, today is a crisis. See, everybody is afraid of the pandemic. That's the main thing. But then after the first NATA test was over, now I think some of the aspirants who are trying for architecture are more scared of the NATA than pandemic also. Now, I mean, this is a very pathetic turn of events. It's not that any one person can be blamed. So many factors in this, whatever it is. But then that is the exact picture today. So like Professor Kadiravan was telling, we have an act, an Architects Act, in which very clearly said what is an aptitude test. The Architects Act 1972 only said that a student aspiring for architecture may be subjected to an aptitude test. Now, this aptitude test has transformed into so many things, and now we have the NATA. This NATA was originated by a former president of the council, Professor Vijay Soni, at a national level. And I must say, it was very successful, probably till maybe 2015, 2016, when a lot of people applied, a lot of people registered, a lot of people wrote the NATA. But like I said, a lot of transformation has taken place. And today, a candidate can take the NATA only twice. The first test has already happened on April 10th. The second test is due to happen. That will be, hopefully it will be on June 12th, the second test. Now, we do not really know how many people will appear for that, how many people will pass, how many people will fail. So many things are there. But then, like taking the statistics, what is it? Satish Kumar clearly put all the statistics. See, there are about 25,000 seats all over the country, and only 11,000 people have written NATA. Sorry, 14,000 people, and out of which 11,000 only have cleared the NATA. Now, this is like more a rejecting process than a selection process. A rejection process, what it is till now. Hopefully, there are some drastic changes and something will happen. See, I feel, my opinion, when the number of seats available and the number of people who are aspiring, hardly 50% of the number of seats available. Now, I would like to question, why is there a pass mark? See, there is another aptitude test conducted by the JEEE, whatever, and see, this year they even had a physical drawing test, which was not done in the NATA. Now, what is aptitude? I would simply define aptitude as an inclination or a bent of mind or an interest in a certain whatever subject, like architecture. Now, there are many misconceptions here. See, invariably people think that to become an architect, you have to be an artist, and you should need talent of an artist. This is not true. Though drawing tests have been conducted and the selection process is drawing is part of the selection process early till probably this year or the last year. It is not about drawing like an artist. Nobody wants you to draw like an artist. Now, this was one of the reasons why I took up this preparatory training program, to bring about an awareness among the people. Because people normally think that you have to be an artist to become a designer or an architect. It is not so. See, I am a natural artist and I went into architecture because I was a very good artist. Because that time they were only testing for how good an artist you are. Obviously, I got selected. I don't know whether I will get selected now if I appear for the NATA. No, it's very doubtful, especially the NATA which was conducted this year. Now, some of the parents are approaching me and asking me, how do we upgrade the students? How do we bring up whatever to make them, clear the second NATA, get some good marks in the second NATA? In my opinion, we don't have to upgrade the students at all, because they have been taught at a very high level as of now. You have to downgrade them, because they went expecting something great. And when they saw that the test was not at all very, see, there was arithmetic, there was I don't really know how this can identify the aptitude in a person. Well, I'm not doing that as of now. Whatever it is, as of now, the selection process, whatever is very, very, it looks very bleak and pathetic. Now, something identify people and rejecting them from doing architecture. No one has any business to do that. Because like I told you, if a person has an inclination of mind, a bent of mind, that is what I will identify as aptitude. Now here, I would define aptitude as approach and application of your mind. See, students in a school don't apply themselves at all. They don't apply their mind. They're all the time involved in memorizing whatever. Even the subjects, physics, chemistry, and maths, they memorize. And in the bargain, they develop an aversion for mathematics, physics, chemistry. Because they're not learning physics and chemistry and maths in school. They're studying physics, chemistry, and maths. Now, that's another problem. Now, there is no exam which does not have a training program or a coaching system or whatever, because this is part and parcel of the Indian mentality. When you go to school, you study, take classes, teachers teach you there, but the mother wants the son to go to a tuition class also after that. Now, this is the general mentality of the common Indian citizen or whatever. See, that is exactly what it is. So coaching will be there. Whether you like it or not, people will turn to people who can, teach them something more, enhance their knowledge, anything. They are looking at some way or other, somebody to, put them in the right track. So coaching cannot be stopped. It will go on. unless probably some people put a ban on coaching, which I think is ridiculous. So now we are at a stage where, and another thing that happened this year was board exams were also parallelly happening. People were going to school. Now the board exams are postponed. But then during the first, people were in a dilemma whether to take the aptitude test or go for practical exams with the board, because both were coinciding. A lot of such problems were there. Now I have exposure to a cross section of the people from India and also abroad, because I train students not only from India but also from abroad. And this is the $1 million question. Today, everybody wants to know what is happening to the aptitude test. Now, see, Dr. Satish Kumar is a council member. He is a sitting member of the council. There are other members also in this. I met Professor Alok Ranjan some time back. I am also part of the council. Okay, a former member of the council. So we have to also field these questions. And it's everybody's job. It's not one person, not just the president of the council or the executive committee or the council members. It is every architect's responsibility to take part in this creation of awareness, educating people, encouraging them and providing them with information where they appear for the data, peacefully with a mind which is not troubled. As it is, people are very troubled about the pandemic. Now, on top of that, now they are appearing for the second test. Now, these are all very serious issues which have to be addressed. Now, looking at the people, organizers today like Satish and Raja and Karthik, who's hosting the program, Professor Kagiravan. Now, I'm very happy that these people are so, feel so vehement about whatever they spoke today. That's very, very, very good. Now, I'm really happy that I responded to Raja's invitation to come and say a few words or create an awareness among the general public about architecture. See, architecture is a very interesting profession, a very beautiful profession. Now, if people imagine that it's only meant for people who have got a special talent for it, it's very, very sad. Now, if only you create the interest in a person and the person's bent of mind is towards architecture, that is what I call aptitude, because that will address the attitude with which he approaches life. And then, above all, application of mind. Now, here we have to address the right side of the brain. So the questions were, okay, lots of questions were there of lateral thinking, everything, etc., creative thinking. But still, like I said, the questions were not tough at all. The questions were so simple that the students got flabbergasted. They didn't know what to do. And some of the questions, there was no time. See, so quickly the questions, the visuals came and went. And in that state of mind, just imagine a +2 student amidst pandemic and this and that, desperately trying to answer questions. I feel that it was a gambling process. A, B, C, D, pick one nice alphabet and pick it. What else can you expect them to do? That's why there are so many failures. Maybe this many failures may not be there second attempt, but still, now you have to assure and restore the confidence of the people, the parents of the students who are aspiring for architecture. And I feel that it's responsibility of each and every architect who's in India to do something about this. This is my only appeal. And I hope this message, see, we have conveyed this message to a sitting member of the council as of now. And that member is quite a responsible person. And not only that, he's a very dynamic person. So I have a lot of faith in Satish. And I'm sure he will do much more than we even expect. But then I feel that this should be spread far and wide. This awareness should be created among all the people, everyone, especially the parents of the people who are aspiring to do architecture. So I thank all the people concerned who gave me this opportunity to speak. So if there are any questions from any of the panel members, you may ask me if you wish to ask.
I should really thank you for guiding us and motivating us in all these directions. So we are finding your paths to take things forward. What best possible within the given time we have. I'm sure we work towards it, and not only we will take all people together and we all work together for the goodness and the betterment of the profession, sir. Thank you for inspiring and thank you for the opportunity, sir.
Thank you, Professor Solomon, and thank you, Professor Satish Kumar, sir, for your valuable inputs. We are now open to taking questions from the participants. If you have any, please post your questions. We will put it up to panel. All participants are requested to post your queries and questions into the chat box so we can take up the questions. Meanwhile, I would like to say a few words on with respect to the three eminent experts we have today who are in this platform, and with their rich, valuable experience, they have really opened our eyes into what architecture profession is, how the architecture students' journey is, directly related to profession, unlike any other courses which we go ahead, and as well as how aptitude test, which was initially created to be creating an awareness or understanding the aptitude or orientation of any person towards the profession of architecture, being a noble profession, is now into a different dimension altogether, where Professor Solomon rightly said that we cannot judge a person based on the test whether they are able to take architecture as a profession or not, which is very true. So you cannot have passing marks. It should be the ranking system. So I think that is a very valid point which sir has raised as in terms of the NATA which we are going through these days. That is one thing. So I'm looking forward to questions from the architects themselves, from the aspirants who are looking forward to joining the architecture course, architecture as a course, or anybody who is willing to understand the system. We don't have questions, but I would really like to read few comments which have come. One comment which has come is from Satyamurthy. He says, one way to inspire aspiring students enter into the field is to showcase how they could make a living being as an architect. In all other fields, it seems to be transparent much more than architecture. That is very true, and that is precisely what our experts have also indicated or pointed out towards that we need to take very many efforts, in terms of the council members. Dr. Satish as council member is there who is actually listening to what we all are discussing, and he himself says that we need to create awareness as well as opportunities through various laws and regulations which council should be promoting. That is a very positive point which is coming from him. Then we also have the eminent expert, Professor Sathi Ravan, that he is telling that there are various techno-legal aspects which should be considered. The policy level recommendations to strengthen the profession of architecture and as well as to improve the credibility of architects in their profession is very important, which is again, very inspiring, and which is very true, because nowadays architects are at so many places. If they are not well placed, they are not very taken very lightly, and there's a lot of competition which the architect's work is done by other people, like so many times the civil engineer, or for that matter even a draftsman, for nothing. So we need to establish the credibility of our profession, which is very right, very true. And
architects don't make a living, they make a life.
Yes, very true. They're the question to from
Yes.
Nicholas Prince to everyone. What are the ways to save the esteemed profession of architecture in our country, as the government said that they can practice architecture? So I would like the panel members to address this issue. It would be nice if...
Good evening, sir. I am Nicholas. Actually, my question is, what are the ways to save architecture? As the government has said last year that anyone who can practice architecture without any professional degree. That's my question, sir.
To answer this, I think he would be...
It is not the government, it's the Supreme Court. It's a Supreme Court verdict.
Yes, sir. It was dated by 18th March 2020, I think so.
Yes, we are all aware of that. See,
sir,
even before this judgment,
yes, sir.
See, anybody and everybody was calling himself an architect.
Yes, sir.
See, nobody could do anything about it. See, anybody can call himself an architect. An architect does not mean that he is into architecture. But in this particular verdict, the Supreme Court has said only an architect who is qualified and an architect who is registered with the Council of Architecture can hold the title of architect for an architectural project. So that means if an architectural project is created by somebody, he cannot be anybody but an architect who is qualified and also registered with the council. And this has happened because we do not have any other intellectual protection or whatever it is. So this verdict has been given. Now, we can question this and we can go whatever, but at least I am happy that in an architectural project, only an architect with a qualification and the registration with the council can hold the title of architect. At least that has been established.
I would like to add up to Solomon, sir. This problem is not only with the profession of architecture, and also it is there in medicine, law, or any other, like non-professionals practice that profession, even medicine for that sake. Of course, the government or the police or the court, anybody is taking up the legal actions, issues on the non-professional practicing the said profession or the so-called profession, whatever it has been mentioned. Of course, let us be very fortunate. The court order very clearly says that this profession, this title of architect could not be spelled by anybody. Today, even a diploma person can, diploma in engineer, diploma in civil engineering is also calling himself as an engineer. Okay. So even Siddha Vaidya call himself as a doctor or anybody, anything they call, but nobody can call himself as an architect, because only an architect or anybody who is registered in the Council of Architecture only can call himself as an architect. So the title is very clear. So anybody is God only can create. Anybody is an architect only can create and do things. So if anybody does it, it is out of law, out of discipline, out of the system. It is not only the problem with the with our profession, it is the problem everywhere. But the court very clearly says that the title is very well protected, and only the architect can call himself as an architect, and nobody else can become an architect. Of course, I am in a simple terms. I would like to tell you, many engineers want to call themselves as an architect, or no architect wants to call themselves as an engineer or anything. So it's a simple things like that. So let us be very proud. That's what I was in my talk. I was mentioning the title, the Act Act 1972, very well made, beautifully made. See, we should really, say thanks throughout our life, which was done by Pillu Modi in the year 1972 when he was Rajya Sabha member, has implemented this. That is why at least we can hold that. This kind of non-professional practicing, even this NATA training, the so-called the Council Center letter to everybody that anybody cannot do NATA training. I'm very clear with that. As a teacher, as an architect, should do NATA training. How can a non-professional who is not an architect can do NATA training? It is not possible, right? So the problem is there not only in architecture, it's engineering, even medicine, and everywhere it is there. But we are definitely on the upper hand that nobody can call themselves as an architect, but anybody call themselves as anything. So this is what it is. But actually, it's a very bigger topic to discuss because it's a very big court order given by the Honorable Supreme Court. But it's a very valid question, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you, Professor Satish. We have one more question from Professor Ravi. He says, what IIA doing right by qualifying non-architecture graduates as architects, and further as IIA members at par with genuinely qualified architects, is probably a question which should be answered by you, sir.
No, it is, the question is not very clear. I think I'll again read it. Is what IIA doing right by qualifying non-architecture graduates? I don't know what is that he is trying to say as architect, and further as IIA member at par. Let's see, anybody who registered in the Council of Architecture is called as architect. Let me be very clear. That is number one. Number two, for reference, what he is trying to refer is that AIIA member. That is what I understand. So in engineering, there's AMIE, which is equal to BE. Okay. Like that, it is here we have AIIA, which is equal to BR. So, and they are authorized to register themselves as the architect, as the register in the Council of Architecture, so they can practice architecture. So, of course, as per the Act, it is allowed, and anybody who qualifies IIA, they call as AIIA, as how in engineering they call AMIE, which is equal to BE. Here we call as AIIA, which is equal to BR. Yes, definitely they can register in the Council of Architecture to practice architecture. There's no way inferior.
Yes, yes. I think that answers the questions to Professor Ravi. And thank you. Do we have any more questions here coming from participants? I have one question on behalf of the participants as well as the organizers. And I would really like Professor Kathi Ravan to please answer this. As you have rightly pointed out that we need a lot of policy level recommendations to strengthen the credibility of architects in a profession, in our profession. So, sir, I would really like to know as an architect also that do we have any such things or provisions which are being already existing and we are not aware about it, or how are we going ahead in this direction since it has already been raised by very valuably by you, sir?
I'm not clear. Come back here. Please come back.
My question to you is that you have rightly pointed out that we need policy level recommendations and changes in Architects Act to make our profession more credible. Like not everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. Do we have any such, like there was a recent one which was taken against the builders? They could not get the plans approved until and unless it was approved by the authorities. There was a movement was taken up. So do we have anything as such which is going on, and how do we look forward to into this?
Actually, as per Satish just now back, he was informed about 1972 Act, which was developed by architect Villu Modi, who was a Rajya Sabha MP during that time. He was inside the parliament. That's why it's possible. He was developed that act during 1972. After 1972, nothing was happened from our side. So, strong person needs to be enter into the Rajya Sabha, or maybe some licensing person or lobbying person, whoever it is from the Council of Architecture. They have to be the part of the government, and they insist the government to do this type of activity, because recently AICT, you know that All India Council for Technical Education, what they are doing is they are sending the posters and they are sending the notices in the papers saying that for our architecture itself, they send you have to get approval from the AICT, then only you are allowed to continue the courses in your college. Like that, they sent sometimes back, 4 years back for architecture. Suddenly now 2 years back for the BDES they sent, Bachelor of Design they sent. How they are sending AICT? Because AICT is the government body, a government body. Suddenly they take initiative and do all these things. Likewise, our Council of Architecture is also a governing body in architecture. They have some power with them. They have to come out with that power, and they have to fight with the government as well as fight with the court, honorable Supreme Court or High Court, and they have to come with some solution. It's possible. It's nothing is impossible. It's not there.
A very recent step, or not that recent also, RERA was, RERA came into existence, where builders could not
Yes.
go ahead with the plans without RERA being
In RERA itself, in RERA itself, we included something. It's
Yes.
possible only.
Yes,
It's possible
that-
only. But
that
RERA
was one
was
example.
created because of the political people. It came. Okay, all politicians together. It came. So we are also part of that. We have to enter into that, and we do some lobbying works. All these things. It's very much important. It's very,
Yes.
very, very much important. Yes.
That is one thing which actually has shaken me as an architect, that yes, we need to strengthen our profession altogether.
Some
I
people
know-
is required. Some person is required in that point, in that lobbying side. Okay. I don't want all architects to be behind the politician, but some people is required in government of India. Otherwise, it won't happen. I'm telling you.
Yes, yes. Right now we have Dr. Satish with us, being the member of Council of Architecture, who is really a savior to us at this point, where our concerns could be raised to council, and from council a representation could be done to the government. That is
Yes,
one
sure.
thing to look forward to.
Professor Kadiravan, with the blessings of Almighty, I'm sure another Pillu Modi will come in any form, whomever you see here,
Thank
and
you.
he will do it. Take my word, and it has to be done. If not, nobody. If we can't do, nobody else. So let's take the momentum. It is not one man show. It is a teamwork. It's
Yes.
all we. So we will take it forward, and I'm sure it will happen, and we have to work towards it. It doesn't mean that our early people have not done it. They tried. They made a sincere attempt at different points. Probably because of different domestic conditions or the political scenario or the governmental issues, it was not able to do. Probably I remember it very well 10, 15 years before, when Kapil Sibal was there. And it was all very well put into the parliament, but it was not taken up that time because of different reasons. But it is not an end. No, probably now then, probably the NEP is going to come, and a lot of different strategies are getting taken up, and we have to have our own umbrella very properly established. How this medical council and bar council is taken up, they stand away. Like that, no, we should also, because we work on the hands-on. It's not like engineering or any other science program. No, they can be aligned on that umbrella. No, we have a hands-on exercise. So we work on site, like the medicine and the advocates. We work on site, learning on the office, interior designers, laborers, craftsmen, or anybody. So really, we need to have a different kind of stand. In fact, different kind of university also. It need not be with no art, science, design, technology. It could be a different established university itself. So for which no room was built in a day. No, it takes its own time. So we really have to work towards it. I'm sure the days are not far. We'll do it, sir. Sure, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. There are a few questions which are very basic questions, but still I would like to put it into the forum. There is one student aspirant who is in class 12th and wanted to know how he can prepare for NATA. I think these questions are very basic questions, could be discussed in person with the experts, with their contacts number being here. You can contact Architect Raja. You can contact any of the professionals who are into this. And
Madam, I would like to answer this question. Could you please put the question again?
The question is by a 12th standard student who says, I want to know how I can prepare for NATA.
Okay, if you assume yourself as an architect, then things will fall in line. You work towards it, and you have a lot of stalwarts here training you, or it's not training, it's orienting. That's all. Unless until you believe in yourself, things may not come, and you'll be oriented properly by the right people here. The extreme super trainer is here, Solomon sir. Another young trainer, Professor Raja, and many other people are here. They will take you forward for sure. But first, you believe that you're an architect. Then everything is very easy. Don't keep it as an option. Don't keep it as a choice. You believe that you are an architect and you become a very good architect. This is only a process.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir, for answering his queries and curiosity in the field of architecture. With your permission, with the permission of the panelists and the Architect Raja and Professor Vishnu Karthik, I would now like to conclude. Do we have any other things which we needed to be adding? No. So I would just conclude in very short. We have almost discussed all the points. As panelists, three panelists, we have three panelists today, Dr. Satish, Professor Kadiravan, and Professor Solomon. And they gave an insight into the profession of architecture, into the field of journey of student of architecture, as well as into the entrance process or into the NATA, which is taken up for entering into architecture. So Dr. Satish gave an insight of how architecture profession is a noble profession and it has a lot of opportunity. It is the only profession which creates opportunities rather than, which is doing job or people doing job. And he has a voice which says that we need to work towards our profession to improve our professional strength, which we all agree to. Then followed by this, Professor Kathiravan gave us an insight of the techno-legal aspects of architecture and how at a legal level the architecture profession needs a strengthening, because after P.U. Modi Act 1972, we do not have any amendments made in our act. And in light of that, we really need some amendments to improve the credibility of architects and architecture as a profession, as a noble profession. Thank you, sir, for your valuable insight. And Professor Solomon raised few very critical thinking questions about NATA, which was initially designed with the aim of taking students who are inclined towards the profession of architecture, has now become more difficult, and it really needs a thinking of how do we take ahead NATA as an exam. But then that does not stop the aspirants from taking NATA as the exam towards entering into architecture. We are definitely working upon certain aspects of NATA as the new thing. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable insight. With this, I would like to conclude this panel discussion and would hand over the dais to Architect Raja.
Thank you to all the panel members, and thank you to the great moderation done by Dr. Negha Bansal. It is time to actually invite our host, DSIT Dr. S. Satyavishnu Karthik sir, the Dean of DSIT Samayapuram Trichy, to give vote of thanks to everyone.
Thank you, Raja sir. On behalf of Dhanalakshmi Srinivasan School of Architecture, deem it a great privilege to express my heartfelt gratitude on this memorable event. Let me, with due respect, start by giving glory to the Almighty God for making today's event a resounding success in spite of being a virtual experience. First and foremost, I would like to thank our chairman for giving us this opportunity to conduct this event. I now express my heartfelt thanks to Architect Solomon Vedamuthu sir for his gracious presence that unfastened our minds about NATA. Thank you, sir. I thank Dr. Satish Kumar, Council Member and Dean, SRM School of Architecture and Interior Design, SRM University, for his kindness, his hard work, and his continuous support to all of us. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Architect Kathiravan, heading School of Architecture, Kapaham University, for elating us with his honorable presence today and for his valuable words about architecture. Thank you, sir. I would also thank Dr. Neha Bansal, Research Coordinator, SRM University, for moderating today's event. Thank you, ma'am. I thank Architect Raja for being a humble and for his unstinted support in all our endeavors. Thank you, Raja. My heartfelt thanks to various head of institution, faculty members, and the architects for making this event an astounding one. The last but not the least, our students. We are going to have a wonderful journey under our guidance. We will support you in all our endeavors. Thank you, students, all the very best. And thank you for giving us this opportunity to conduct this event. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Solomon sir. Thank you, Satish sir. Thank you, Dr. Negha Bansal. And thank you, all of you. Thank you, Kathiravan sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Satya sir. Thank you.